Grew up in this small town. Unfortunately for me, it just didn't feel like a great place to be an artist. And so when I had the chance, I jumped at the opportunity to leave as soon as I possibly could and went to the big city to pursue my dreams. This just happened to be Nashville, where I eventually, after a few years, met my husband. We met and married in a very short period of time, but essentially what I really wanted as a teenager changed. We left where I had escaped to as a teenager and ended up right back in my little small town. And in a way, it felt a little uncomfortable at first because I felt like it looked like I had given up. I really thought that what I gave up there, I gave up forever. It was a very difficult season, and it was good too because we were building something that was important to both of us, but it wasn't an easy process. Being a mom brought me lots of joy, and I loved it. I always wanted to raise children. I always wanted to be home with my children. But I think over time, I realized there was so little margin for me and so little margin for the things that I loved and the things that lit me up. And it was a struggle to maintain any of those things. It changes what you think is important. My life was much less self-centered. Now that I'm back here in this town raising my family and I want them to experience certain things, I've switched that perspective. What can I do to raise the level of community in this town? So now I'm seeing my gifts and my talents as being an asset to the broader community as opposed to just pursuing my own goals. I feel like it's more appreciated. I love that saying, bloom where you're planted. And I think that's so true, especially in this phase of my life. I don't have to go out to far-flung city or country to change the world. I get to change the world right here where I am. It doesn't matter what you have to offer. You can offer it where you are. You know, when everyone's functioning with that in mind, we all live in a better place then.
I guess when you're younger, no matter what kind of skills and attributes you're leveraging into the world, without exceptional youthful character, you're longing for some sort of recognition, approval of others, fame seek, all that stuff is wrapped into a lot of your youthful decisions. My personal story with that was tons of life lessons and tons of like scars that then turned into strengths but didn't yield any of the things I was chasing. A portion of the pie was just too much me. The me slice was just enormous. And people instinctively recognized that. I went through all that journey. I walked through that minefield of youth, decreased the me portion of my life. And one of the things I wanted to do was wield music in a whole new way, in a way that really had very little to do with me and had very little to do with my own desires, and just read the tea leaves of the place I was in. What would be a blessing to this place? How would that look? And I just started an entire quest to do that. Neighborly really has become the culmination of that. What I hope you see is two people that are exempling that. And it is true that if you have a community of people doing that, that's a pretty extraordinary place to live. Once I had children, I feel like I saw in Technicolor. I'm at the phase of child rearing where your children just sprint to you with this like look of love on their face that is just so powerful. The coolest thing I experienced thus far. Bones get rebroken and reset the way they're supposed to be, and that's a very painful process. But your life fills up with just this fullness. It makes every other way you love richer too. Because all you're really doing is just understanding love better. And it's funny how you can come full circle in life and find yourself right where you should be. And if you don't laugh at the irony of that, then you're not 40 years old like me.
I was just playing with my kids, and all of a sudden, Brock and Kelly show up walking down on the corner. He said, well, we just bought this house. So they ended up living and moving in 3 houses down the street from us. So when Brock first approached me about the Neighborly Project, he made it very, very clear that he was most interested in serving our community and making our hometown a better place. We were both in this place in our lives where we had these priorities. We are raising small kids, and a lot of our time goes to that. If we were going to do some kind of project that's going to pull us away from those things, it needed to be something more than just a hobby. Yeah. That really spoke to me because, I have a very small amount of time that I can put into things, and I want it to have a greater yield than just something that I want to do.
Arissa inspired me a lot in the sense that she grew up here. She was a hometown girl. She was very active in a whole bunch of different ways, was in many ways doing what the Neighborly does by way of mission statement with her own life. This is just a new way of doing that. That was the seedbed, and the Neighborly grew out of that. It's been so well received by people that I think relate to where we are. The music thing is a true offering that we feel happy to give, just like other people in our community give all types of unique, cool things. This is where we find ourselves in life. So rather than fight the current of our life, we went with it and I think formed this like really rewarding, somewhat unique mission statement with music, which is now the Neighborly. It's a culmination of all those things that we've talked about, and it's been very rewarding for us. And our heart is really that it inspires people, particularly in the middle. This is our neighborhood, both figuratively and creatively, and we would love if you would join us.
Join our neighborhood.
Yeah, join our neighborhood.
Won't you be my neighbor? My neighbor.
What does it do with the shoes? Something like...
It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Please won't you be my neighbor?